position though to go through?
Yep. So same as what we mentioned last week, guys. So the guys at Paradise Medical Centre that helped over not the weekend three, the one before. So from Alan, he'd like to pass his thanks to the crew for assisting on the weekend to complete the work to Energise. This was a long running job that was politically sensitive, and all of your help was greatly appreciated. All the crew members that attended on the weekend worked with enthusiasm and an excellent work attitude during the whole job. So can you please pass on the thanks and well done. Also coming from Craig Miller, it was an excellent result. Also considering the issues with the dit and removing the existing pole, please pass on his thanks. And Dave Paitner, he was driving past and he stopped for a short while and ended up staying for 3 hours. So words he used, besides the big thank you, was friendly. The DS guys come up and introduced themselves to him, safety conscious, enthusiastic, positive work ethic. So excellent, that speaks for itself there guys, that's good to see.
I just got a little bit of positive recognition yesterday. Cam organised some stuff, and some people might know Daniel Cutting is the project manager, but boy, if he ever gets near Cam in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be messy. Cam's going to have slobber in every orifice of his body. No, just organised, and they needed some photos of a period.
I'm sending him straight to Reece.
Yeah, so he put the word out across Enderman, and because Reece was heading up there, so it just worked out well. But yeah, to say he's pretty happy would be an understatement.
Easily pleased, I'd say.
Oh, that's good to hear. Switching, so we're not going to go through the toolbox summary because we shared that Friday. But it's been 601 days now without switching incidents. So well done, lads. Keep that going. Our previous best was 348, so we've knocked that out of the park. We've got no switching alerts. We do have one incident that Reece picked up. So it doesn't have a lot of information, so I might get you just to follow up on this one a bit, Reece. So it's got LV transformer closed left off LV sheet. So the report, while going through the LV sheet switching brief, it was noticed that the transformer closed was left off, and this would result in customers being left off. So I had a bit of a chat to Nick, so I didn't know about this one. Do you just want to explain this one a little bit? This is pretty.
So the work to be done was to change a transformer during the day, which is on the HV sheet, and then on the LV sheet, it was missing to close that transformer after testing on the HV sheet. So we just had to remove tags on the HV side. There was nowhere to close on both sheets. So
Yeah, good pick up, mate. Yeah, well done. It's important that I think Nick was saying that two different work crews, one was doing the low voltage, one was doing the HVs, and Reece went over it, ran over the low voltage sheet, picked it up. So good job, mate. Well done.
And that was put in as a near miss, but I've reclassified it to a hazard because it picked up the vehicle.
yeah, okay.
Still excellent pickup, doesn't make a great difference to that.
So that's the only near miss we have. So some general depot stuff. So Nick's got a printout about some generator keys.
Yep. So had Spud email me the other day saying some generator keys were missing from 500 kVA. Haven't completely tracked it down, but maybe the one we used at Airport Road. Not 100% sure. So moving forward, just make sure we return those keys if we use them. Now, I believe the majority of us probably have generator keys, so we shouldn't really even have to touch the ones that come with the generator. But rule of thumb, if we take them out, just put them back exactly where they're hanging, alright? If we could all check to see if we can find these missing generator keys, that would be awesome, if we could return it to them. So keep that in mind this morning when you head to your trucks, alright? Also, just another note with the 500 kVAs, so ensure that both leads are used per phase. We're not to ever use just a single lead per phase on the 500s. So there's no option to install a single lead, as it can possibly cause some damage to the unit and cause the generator to open the CV during its operation. So we rely on the generators a lot, so make sure we look after them the best we can, and yeah, especially the keys, make sure they go back. Alright.
It's got a sticker on the generator next to the lead, so
Yeah, okay. So I'm not sure where that comment came from. Obviously, Spud might have seen it happen once before or something like that, so just wanted to highlight it again. That's it for that one.
Cheers, mate. We've got a printout here for adding shortcuts for, the apps, if somebody raised it, CSW, common links. I'm not gonna read it out because you guys will forget it, but there's a heap of little printouts here that can put together. So come and grab one and it'll show you how to add those, links to your Tough-Pad. Really handy, Chris did that pretty quick. Safety alerts, so I think Nick, you've got the, regulator one?
Yeah, I'll try and get some sense around it. So, basically it's been reclassified a little bit between a single phase regulator and a 3-phase regulator. So, basically, the KVO value given by Cooper rating plate does not relate to the through current of a VR as it would a 3-phase unit. So on the unit, on the plate itself, it's got a KVO rating of 330 amps and a load amps rating of 300. So I believe the 300 load amps is to be used for single phase and the 330 to be used for 3-phase regulators. So it's been updated in the limits of switching devices. They've got a single phase column and a 3-phase column for regulators. Obviously, if we come across it with our switching, we'll go through it in a bit more detail and make sure we're all over it there. So just a little FYI on that one.
Cheers, mate. We've got one here, a Centrelink handpiece valve gas leak. So Mount Gambier depot, cutting holes with the gas torch, noticed a bit of a flame down near the adjustment knobs. Obviously ceased cutting and sent it off to get replaced and removed. So when you're cutting, just keep an eye on that. Maybe Mick, if you have a bit of a suss, see if they're still in working order, but just keep an eye on them.
Check it before you use it.
Check it before, look over it, stuff that we should be doing every time. No, the little hand knobs,
Oh,
so
okay.
the flames start leaking out of there, so just visually inspect it. I know sometimes it's hard to see whether they're, but if something does happen, obviously just stop. And, seizing clamp failure, so Narracourt depot replacing a street light. Noticed, I know pretty far away, seizing clamp up here completely snapped, so the mains were just sitting in the pin. So it was a good pickup, so the crews contacted Knock, got an emergency crew out to repair that. So just keep an eye on the whole pole. You might be just doing a light, but just visually inspect the whole pole, because it's like shaping the pole and stuff. That would have been a pretty serious situation. I think we've come across that in trees once, I reckon, Nick. We got a gloving crew out there, we'll cut the tree and Nick picked up that there was a damaged seizing clamp. A vandalised OD station. So lock had been removed from an OD station and the door was left wide open, so multiple fuses had been removed, causing a power outage. So that's pretty game in my mind. I don't know who would ever be wanted to do that, I don't know. So if you are working in OD stations, transformers, if the lock is damaged, just proceed with caution. I don't know, they're pretty game. You sort of see them pulling the fuses out.
I mean, they're very lucky when they
Yeah, that's ballsy. So the guys tested the OD station before replacing the fuse, tested okay, and they fitted a new lock, but just be cautious. That could be anywhere. That's all the safety alerts I have. I've got something I just wanted to touch on. I caught up with a mate on the weekend who runs Powerline Crews as well. His mate, a guy that some of us used to know works in the AP Wildlands, he was driving an EWP with another vehicle. The other vehicle had something wrong with it, so he decided to drive on in the EWP. So this is in the middle of Australia. As he was driving along the highway, he's swerved to the side, hit the bull dust, overcorrected, he's actually flipped the EWP. So stuck him. Now I don't know, anybody work with T? You would know, Sam, remember T? That's about it. So yeah, he crashed his EWP, he was stuck in there for 45 minutes till the light vehicle come past. He was rushed to Port Augusta and then they flew him to Royal Adelaide. He had a couple of medical episodes that I don't exactly know what they were, but he shattered his neck, so he's completely no good. So he's in ICU, he's been there for 4 weeks now. So he'll probably never work again, just from a slight lapse of concentration. Do you remember T? Yeah. So he's still in Royal Adelaide now. They're gonna operate his spine. They did one, they moved his voice box across and went in through the front. I'm sure Warwick, you probably know about spine surgery, mate, but yeah, so just one small lapse of concentration just changed his whole life forever. He'll probably never work again. So it's pretty sad. So just keep that in mind, guys, when you're driving around. That light vehicle was there for that sort of safety factor, but again, something went wrong, just decided to drive on, hit the bull dust, flipped his truck, so that truck's completely written off. So, and he's a big lad too. So he could have died there, that's how easy it could happen. So it hasn't come out yet, 'cause it's still under investigation, but just wanna let you guys know, we're doing a lot of kilometres. It's pretty sad to hear, actually.
Not just with driving either,
Yeah,
just that lapse,
yeah,
and something else, something simple.
yep. And the phone call, that called his wife, his partner, and let him know that he's been rushed to Port Adelaide, Port Augusta Hospital, so, yeah, pretty sad story. Pretty sad note to kick off the week, but stay safe, I just wanna let you guys know.
I've got a couple of things.